Good morning, resellers. I'm getting a later start than normal because my cat woke me up at 2:30 and I couldn't go back to sleep. So finally got my husband off to work about 5:30 and I slept for 2 hours. So it's 8:43. The sun is really bright this morning, which is wonderful. And I'm going to go to the storage unit. I only need to pick up one thing from there. I have 3 things to ship out, but 2 of the things that sold were just listed yesterday. And so I'm going to go pick that up, and then I'm going to take a crib apart that's in my storage unit and get that ready to be donated to one of the local charities, not like a Goodwill or something, but one of the local charities that will have that crib ready for someone that needs it. They deal with a lot of like refugee type people. So I'm going to get that ready so that I can just take it to them when they're ready for it. And then I have to go to Home Depot this morning to get a few supplies. And then when I get back to home base, I will show you what I sold. And I think today we're going to work on creating a listing for your products in eBay. Okay guys, so I thought I'd show you real quickly what I sold on eBay overnight, and then I would show you how to create a listing and what my theory is, and how I do it. It's rather simply, it's elementary. I'm not a techie guru, but this is how I do it. But first, these are the things that I sold. So I bought this huge lot of Wii consoles and games and controllers, and actually I kept the best console. Some of the games, a couple of the games I've listed, maybe 6 games also. And then I lotted up this. I bought all of that for $40. And then I lotted up this lot, which has 2 consoles, 6 games, 3 controllers, and a couple of other things in it. I listed that yesterday and sold it last night for $49.99 plus $10.46 shipping. This is a cross stitch kit. It's like a little box. And I paid $1 for this, listed it yesterday and sold it last night for $8.99 with $4.11 shipping. These 3 packs of Cards Against Humanity cards came from a pallet that my sister and I bought, $16.99. I had listed them about, I guess, maybe a week ago, free ship. And then this sold actually a day ago. It shipped out yesterday. This was just the leftover jewelry that I had from that lot. It sold for $10.99 with free ship. So that's all I sold yesterday. But you know, it's been consistent. So I thought I'd talk to you today about listings and how to write a listing. And there's lots of methods, but I wanted to show you some of the things that probably you shouldn't do when you're listing, and maybe why. So this listing, this is not my listing, it's just something I came across. As you can see, this is an RCA VCR and there's the model number. That information right there, that is the entire title. That's all of the characters that they used in the title for this listing. And you can see that they only got 1 bid for $14.99 on this VCR plus shipping. Here's another one. That's all of the information that they put in the title. And again, sold it for $13 with shipping. But these VCRs are actually worth quite a bit more than that. There's a lot more. There's money there. You just have to write a longer listing. Look at this. All they did was spell out what it is. They started the same, but they included that it's a 4-head hi-fi VCR. They spelled out video cassette recorder. they said that it was for VHS, so they're saying basically it's not beta, but VHS is a term that people use, that it's a player and that there's no remote. The other two did not have remotes either, I don't think. Oh, that one did. Look, that one had all kinds of goodies, and they didn't mention any of it in their title. And this one doesn't look like it had a remote just from the main picture. So the difference between these three listings amounts to, because I don't think any of the pictures are better than any of the other, it amounts to the title. Maybe the person saw all three of these listings and chose a cheaper one, but there was more money to be made. Even though this is free shipping, the average shipping looked to be like $11. That means they made $34 on this VCR instead of $13 and $14. Here's also an example of using, oh, I bet I can't spread that out now. Using all of the characters that you're given to title your listing. And this is one of the things that I really do not like. Let me change this so you can see the entire screen. Wait one moment. Okay. All right, I wanted you to really be able to see this, because this is one of the things that I try to stay away from when I'm writing a listing. This is the actual description, and I'll show you where this information goes when you're writing the listing. These are the item specifics. This is also information that I will show you where to input this information. But this is the description. I want you to look at all of the text in this listing. Look at all of this. Guess how much of this I read? None. None. As soon as I see this much clutter, this much information, unnecessary information, I move away from these. Look at all this tiny print, this fine print for the returns. Oh, that was my country accent coming out. The returns. This information I think is really useful, the compatible models, but any of the rest of this is just overkill. So I wanted to show you a couple of not so good listings, and then some that I think are better. This is a pretty clear listing. I like this listing. She's got bullet points. Very clear. This looks like it is probably just the title, copy and pasted, and it is, and I do that in my listings as well. She's given you some condition information here, and then she points out in bullets some of the features and the dimensions of this item, and then just a couple of other pieces of information, which I think are okay. I think some of these are important. Comes from a smoke-free environment. I did have somebody leave a comment on video yesterday about smoking, and I'm not sure if her comment was because I mentioned smoking in my video and she's a smoker, and maybe how I quit smoking, or how does it affect my eBay business. So how does it affect your eBay business? As you know, if you are a non-smoker, smoking smells gross on people. As you know, if you're a smoker, you can't smell it. Because I have been a smoker and I've quit. I'm over 4 years. I quit 4 years ago, and I can really smell it, even more than I think I could before I was a smoker. Excuse me, I can smell it on people. If you are a smoker, I suggest that you disclose in your listing, particularly if the item is of some kind of fabric, because it can be really difficult to get those smells out of fabric. And unless you know someone or you have experienced this yourself, some people are extremely sensitive to the smell of cigarette smoke, and it can cause some surprising reactions, difficulty breathing. Sometimes people will vomit. I mean, it's a concern. I suggest that you disclose if something comes from an environment where you're smoke friendly. Also, if you're pet friendly, you probably need to disclose that information, particularly if it's a cloth or plush item. And if you're buying items um, from Goodwill or other places, you don't know the history of that item either. So, it's always a good idea to disclose that. The flip side of that is I think people that have severe allergies and violent reactions like that, I don't think they should be buying things that they can't see, feel, touch, and smell just to protect themselves. But I digress and I'll get off that. As far as quitting smoking, what worked for me the last time, because if you're a smoker, you probably tried to quit more than once. But what worked for me the last time was setting a date that I was stopping, and that was several weeks into the future. And then I had tried a lot of other methods, but I used nicotine gum the last time. I tried the patch before, I tried cold turkey before, I tried the patch again. But it was really like the patch the first day or two, and then nicotine gum when I got into a situation. And I would say I was off of both of those methods within 2 weeks. And then, you know, I was okay. I mean, I had the urge to smoke again, but I was able to manage it. But if and I'll stop talking about this in just a moment, but if you're a smoker and you want to quit, um, just keep quitting until you're done. Because you quit, you relapse, you quit, you relapse. Just keep quitting until you finally are successful. And don't get too down on yourself when you relapse, because it's just a fact of life. People love comfort, and smoking is comfort. So that's all I've got to say about that. That's all I've got to say about that. All right. So this is another listing with so much stuff. They've got good pictures. So they're showing that this VCR is working. I don't know why they need to show that many pictures, but nice, clean, clear pictures, well lit. But then you get down here, and this particular VCR, which is different than the ones we looked at before, sold for $79.99 with free shipping. But then you get down here and look at all of this. These things are probably important, and I'll agree that, that those things are important. These are features. I get that too. They've copied and pasted some information in here, but then you get into all of this. I mean, a feedback policy. Well, you know what? I don't have a feedback policy. I don't have a return policy. I don't have a shipping and handling policy. I don't have a payment policy, because all of those are already described by eBay. They're the law of the land, as I've discussed before, and I do not clutter up my listings with this. If you feel like you need to, it's your business. Do what you want. But I just don't feel like I need to do this. I know how to handle my business, and I know how to take care of my customers. And I don't know why this little bit at the end bothers me, but it's not offensive to me. I just think it's the wrong place. I would feel the same way if this was political, or something like that, so I'm sure it's fine, but just for me, I don't care for that. I don't want to have your opinions on something like that. So, but I digress. This one is another one. Look at all this stuff. I don't want to read all this stuff. I don't want to deal with all this stuff. I do like this though, because they are definitely a legitimate business. They leave your phone number. They've got phone numbers in case you have questions. If you work from your home like I do, and I use my cell phone, my personal cell phone as my business phone, I don't want people having that number unless it's an unusual situation. But I will let you know that if a customer calls eBay and asks for your number, eBay will share that information with them. So I just give you a heads up on that. You might want to get a separate line, um, or, a dedicated line for that. I don't deal with all this. Look at all of this. This is craziness. All of this stuff. It's just too much. But, let me see why I pulled this one up. I don't know. Oh, I know why I pulled this one up. This is it. This little bit of text right here is all of the details that they have put in the description. So you can go both ways. You can go way to the extreme of writing a book, or you can go to the extreme of really not enough information. So, yeah, let's see. I know I pulled up a lot of different examples before I get started, just so that I could, give you some ins and outs of this. What you're seeing on the screen is called active content, and this is scrolling through all of the other listings that she has available. Sometime this year, eBay is going to remove all active content from listings. So, and they are doing that because right now 54% of buyers are buying from their smartphone, and this active content makes the page load slow on their phone, and also not well. It doesn't look good on their phone, on your mobile devices, whether it's a tablet or a phone. So they're going to remove this. This lady has a template, and I will tell you, I scrolled and scrolled and scrolled and scrolled when I looked at this listing on my phone. The pictures are inserted here. This is a software called Octiva, and they will, help manage those templates for you. But see, when you click on the picture, it takes you to a whole different page with advertising. I don't want that crap. And it's probably not good when you're on a mobile device. And then, of course, she has all of this information at the bottom that we are never going to take the time to read. All right. A couple other things I wanted to show you. This is on eBay's website. And the way I found this was to just put in my search box, not in eBay, in Google, eBay item conditions. And I wanted to show you that based on what type of item that you are listing, it will give you different options for condition, because condition is something you have to address. So these are electronic items, basically. It also includes home and garden, but most of these are going to be electronic items. And these are the conditions. And the explanation, which we won't go through the explanation. I just wanted to touch on the fact that some of these conditions look different from category to category. So here's new other, manufacturer refurbished, seller refurbished, used, for parts or not working. And this is the one you want to use when you're selling something that you're either sure is broken or you're not sure if it's broken or not. Use this one because if your buyer comes back to say, well, this item doesn't work, eBay will back you up when you use this category or this condition heading. So for clothing, shoes and accessories, jewelry, and watches, these are the condition categories. New with tags, new without tags, and I think those are self-explanatory. New with defects, so buttons missing, zippers damaged, whatever, but it's a new item. And pre-owned, those are going to be any of the used clothing that you would list. There's also, those are the same. Ooh, underwear. So collectibles, crafts, dolls, bears, pet supplies, toys, and hobby are either going to be new or used. There's no in between. They're either new or they're used. Books are different. Books are rated more like they are on Amazon. So they're either brand new or they're like new. They're very good. They're good, or they're acceptable. And the same is true for other types of media. Won't go into parts for cars and tires, because those look they look very similar. Um, baby, baby health and beauty and sporting goods, those look similar to what we've seen before. And then food and beverages. Yes, you can sell food and beverages on eBay, but those must always be new. Don't sell me half a Coke. I'm not buying it. So those are your conditions. One last thing before we actually get into creating a listing is what's it cost? What'll it cost, man? What'll it cost? So basically, when you have an eBay account, per month you get 50 free listings per calendar month. So you can list 50 things, and that includes things you're going to relist for free. And then after that, over your 50, it's 30 cents per month. And then you are charged a final value fee of 10% per item, with that maximum being $750 per item, not per account, per item. And then good till canceled listings, they renew automatically every 30 days, and they will either use one of your free days or one of your free listings, or they'll charge you 30 cents. Okay, these are upgrades that I never, ever, ever, ever use, like Listing Designer and Gallery Plus, which is like a bigger picture. Subtitles, I don't use any of these. Bold, none of those. We've talked about reserve prices before. I do not use reserves either, but if you do, it costs $3 up to $74.99, and 4% of the reserve price for $75 or more, with a maximum of 100. If you use a special duration auction, either 1 to 3 days, they charge you an extra $1. And all of this, again, is available on the eBay help pages. I think you can get there here through the help and contact. So, you're running a business. You need to be responsible for understanding what you're responsible for with your eBay listing or your eBay business. And there's a lot of information here. I did want to also say, if you're new and you have 10 items per month that you can list, then your listing fees will be free for those 10 items. But doing something like getting a store where you have 250 free listings does not increase that those listings per month. In other words, if you've got a limit because eBay says you're new and you need a limit, nothing you can do will increase that except for waiting every 30 days and contacting eBay and seeing if they will increase it. And usually they do. If you're doing a good job, they will increase it. So let's look at the easiest way to write a listing. And I am going to use this item. I don't even know if you can see me or not. I didn't even check. But I'm going to use this item, and it is a Black & Decker Space Maker can opener. And let me pull out, yeah. All right. So this is the way that I like to get a feel for what's it worth and what are some of the keywords, because keywords are what is going to drive traffic to your particular listing, which is why you need to use all of the 80 characters that eBay gives you if possible. On some things it's very easy to use 80, and on some things I struggle to use them all, but I do my best. All right, so what we'll need to do is type in here. All right, there's my item because I looked it up earlier. And so these are now all of the active listings, okay? These are the active listings. But if I want to know what these are selling for, what have they sold for recently, what I will do is look to this menu on the left, and I'll scroll down, and I can look at sold listings. And once it refreshes, these are all the ones that have sold. Now, mine is like this. Mine's an older style, so this one is not going to be relevant, even though it's the same model. Mine's just older. So here is a best offer that was received. This is new in box, and if I want to remove the ones that are new, I can go over to this menu and click on, crap, let me undo that. Click on used, and now it will show me only the used ones. Here's one that is $34.99. This one looks really close to the condition of mine and what it looks like. So I'm going to say that that's probably right about the right price. So this is a hyperlink that will take you to the listing. But what I'm going to do is just go ahead and click on sell one like this. And it will load a page. Now, it is against eBay's terms of service to plagiarize someone else's title. So we're going to have to change this slightly. There's only so many ways you can say this thing, because this is a pretty clear definition of what it is. But mine is vintage. It's not. It's probably at least 20 years old. And let me change the order of this. Sometimes it's easier to like change up the title, but you don't want to plagiarize somebody else's title. Take one and make it your own. There's not a lot I can do with this one because these are all keywords that I would use, and there's not many ways to say what these are. So let me just play with this. All right, so I am going to cut and paste this title into my item description. So I'll do that, and if you don't know how to do that, I just had my cursor here and I hit Control and A at the same time, and then Control and C, and that took Control A is copy, is select all, Control C is copy. So this is a subtitle. You'd need to pay for that. The custom SKU is not a it's not a field that I've ever used. Because we chose a similar item or the same item, it's already in the correct category. So it's in home and garden, kitchen, dining and bar, small kitchen appliance, can openers and crushers. It can't be any closer than that. But if you wanted to change, you could click this and it gives you a couple of options. So you can look at some of the ones you've used recently. You can just search them or you can browse them. But we're good. There we go. And then once this reloads, the store categories, these are categories that I have set up for my store, and I really have not been paying as much attention to these as I could, but I need to go in and revamp them. But if I was, if I was listing this, I would go and put it in the kitchen gadgets. And that way all of the kitchen gadgets would be in that category in my store. So you could click on that category and see all of the kitchen gadgets that I have. Variations, if I was selling a white one and a black one and they were exactly the same, I could create a variation within the same listing and they could choose which one they wanted. The UPC, I don't have it for this item. I could probably research and find it, but most people are not searching this by UPC. So I'm just going to drop down and put does not apply. Here, this is the condition. It's an electronic item, so these are all of the condition options that we have for this item. This is used, and I'll put the information here. Okay. Here are photos, and I typically will use my cell phone and go to the app on eBay, and I'll find the draft that I'm looking for, and I will upload the pictures within the app. Um, you can, however, go to your camera and pick up the pictures from there, and load them here. And you can do a little bit of editing. You can change the direction. You can like rotate the picture and stuff like that. But I'm not going to show you how to do that. It pretty much walks you through it. Okay. Um, These are your item specifics. So at the beginning of the listings we were looking at before all of the text, there was that box that had all the item specifics. This is the information that would be used there. It's an under cabinet can opener. It's Black & Decker. Um, the color, the MPN is a manufacturer product number. It's kind of like a model number, but a little different. Um, but the cool thing is you can add your own. So some people will add an item specific called item location, and it will tell them where in their inventory it is. So you can customize this. You can do as many as you want, to add as many specifics as you want. So like if I wanted to add the word space maker, I could add another model item specific and add the word space maker. All right, this is your item description. This is where your goodies are going to go. So I'm going to go ahead and paste that title there. If you don't know how I did that, it's Control V because I'd already copied the information from above. And then I'm going to go back here and I'm going to get this information and put that here. If you accidentally mess up and you put the wrong information, Control Z will undo what you did. So this is where we're going to tell them, do we want an auction? Do we want a buy it now format? I rarely do auctions. I mostly do fixed price, which is buy it now. And so you'll want that to be fixed price if that's what if you're selling buy it now. This gives you the duration. For me, if I'm doing buy it now, I want to go the full 30 days. Other people have different methods. In other words, they list it for 10 days, and then if it doesn't sell, they lower the price, they change the price, or they change the listing. But every time it expires, it's going to charge you for a new listing. So I do the full 30 days. Good till canceled, I only use when I have more than one of the same item in my inventory. So, so if I had 10 of these lotions, then I would list it as good till canceled and a quantity of 10 here, and then it would manage that inventory for me. So the price that we saw was $28.95. We're just going to make it $29.95. If you want to give people the option to make an offer to you, you can click on this best offer button, and then you'll get this new menu that says, okay, you'll tell the system, all right, go ahead and accept offers that are at least this much, but you can automatically decline them if they're less than this much. I have kind of phased out best offer. I used to do a lot more of it, but I just set it at the price I want. I'll adjust the price later if it's not selling. So this does not cost you anything extra. One caveat is if you accept a best offer, you cannot make them pay for it immediately. So that's one of the reasons I've phased that out. Just for me, what works for me is having that ability to make them pay for the item immediately, and instead of them buying it and sitting on it for a week and then finally paying for it, or never paying for it, and it's out of your inventory until you can resolve that and put it back in. So here's where you'll put your quantity. We only have one of these. I've never used this sell as a lot feature. You can check to see what that is yourself. Um, I've never used a private listing, and I don't donate to any particular charity, but you can do that here, and it'll give you um, the option of which charity you want to donate to. You can have money, you want to have money sent to your PayPal account. This is where you can um, click that box for the payment option, put in your email address, and then require that immediate payment. I never put in additional instructions for them for checking out. Don't care. Some people I'm sure do, but again, I am, kind of no frills. If you're collecting sales tax for a particular state, you would need to handle that right here. Um, the return options, I am going to click on returns accepted, and I do returns for 30 days. The refund will be given as money back, but you have other options. And you can decide who the shipping will be paid by, either the buyer or yourself. The buyer always pays for shipping in my business unless it is a problem with the item not being described correctly. Other return policies, you can decide whether you want to charge a restocking fee. If they don't like an item that they sent to you, that you sent to them, they can return it, but you can charge them a restocking fee for having that item returned to you. That is not true if it's an item not as described claim, but any other time it should be true. Or you can choose not to accept returns at all. However, if it is an item not as described claim, you now accept returns. Okay, this is your shipping details. You've got two here: domestic shipping, international shipping. You have a couple of options. Freight I've never used because I do not ever want to ship anything over 150 pounds. So you can decide if you want to charge a flat rate to all your buyers, and I know that there's a lot of successful sellers that do this. So, they charge $15 for shipping, and it doesn't matter if it goes one county over or all the way across the country. And it kind of balances out for them. You can use calculated shipping, which is my choice most of the time, or you can offer no shipping at all, and you can offer only local pickup. And I've done that a couple of times too for really large items. So we're going to leave that on calculated. It has defaulted here to priority mail, and that is my favorite. But there's a lot of options here. It's overwhelming with how many options are here. Most of the time, you're not going to use your one-day services. They're really expensive. These are your options. So these are all mail. Here's UPS, and here's your FedEx options. These are standard services, so this would be ground services and first class. And then here are your cheaper services. So FedEx Smart Post, Parcel Select, which is ground or economy shipping, and retail ground, or media mail. Media mail is only for media items: records, CDs, movies, magazines with no advertising in them, and similar items. And you can look on the USPS website to get a definition of media mail. But most of the time, I'm going to be using these expedited services. And the reason for that is priority usually costs about the same as Parcel Select, and they get it in much quicker. So we're going to choose that. If it's a large bulky item or really heavy and it might be cheaper, you can just add a different shipping. So you might want to add FedEx Smart Post. This is billed to you directly. It's taken right out of your PayPal account at the time that you purchase the postage and print that. FedEx bills you at the end of the month. And you'll need to be careful because sometimes they charge you more than the estimated shipping cost. But you do have the option to add as many shipping services as you want. All right, handling time. This is how many business days it takes you from the time that you receive a purchase for you to ship it, for it to be scanned by USPS or FedEx or UPS, whoever you decide to use. So if I sell this today, this needs to be scanned in by the post office by 11:59 Pacific Standard Time on, well, because it's Thursday, it would need to be done by Monday by 11:59 Pacific Standard Time. If I had 1 day business time, it would need to be scanned in by 11:59 tomorrow, because tomorrow's a business day, Pacific Standard Time. I keep wanting to say specific. That's so weird. So I give myself 2 days, but as soon as I'm eligible for top rated seller status, I'm going to 1 day handling time. I usually do not charge a handling cost. However, um, if you are using a ton of bubble wrap and packaging and double boxing, you can charge another dollar or so. It's okay. Um, you can do calculated shipping rules about combined shipping and etc. And you set those up in your preferences, but I don't have any. All right, international shipping. Global shipping program. Basically, what this is this is international shipping where you only ship it locally. So I sell this lotion to Cambodia. I don't know why. And I ship it through the global shipping program. I will mail this, and the buyer will pay me the shipping that it will cost to mail this to Erlanger, Kentucky, and it will go to eBay's hub there. eBay will collect from the buyer at the time of sale the customs fees and the additional shipping that it will take to get this to Cambodia. There is protection for you as a seller in that if this gets damaged along the way, eBay will refund the buyer. You do not have to refund the buyer. The downside to this is it's cost prohibitive for the people that live in foreign countries because regardless of how lax that country might be about their customs fees, eBay will collect them. So it can be a little costly. What I have started doing recently, though, is I use the global shipping program, but I do offer calculated shipping, and I can tell it where it's okay for me to send something calculated. So I can either choose a custom location, or I can say the entire world, or I can choose Canada. And for Canada, I will ship those items myself. The label that I print will be a customs label. I'll have to sign off on it, but it's really not hard. And then I can tell them what shipping I want to use. For this item, if it's less than 4 pounds, I think it can go first class international, so we would choose that particular item. Oh, okay. So this is going to ship probably in a box that is 8 by 8 by 8. There are other options for you here, but I always use package or thick envelope. Unless it goes into, unless the dimensions get, I want to say 12 by 12 by 12 or more, you can use large package. But I have always used packaged or thick envelope here. Then I will tell it how many pounds. So it's probably going to be 3 to 4 pounds by the time I get enough wrapping, enough packaging material around it to keep it safe. And they're going to charge you the same amount if it's 3 pounds and 2 ounces, or it's 3 pounds and 14 ounces. So that's why they give you this 3 to 4 pound range. You can exclude countries that you do not want to ship to if you are not using this global shipping program. There are some problem countries. I won't go into those. I think in the beginning it's probably safest for you to use global shipping program. All right, and so now it tells you where I am, and it tells me that this listing is going to cost me 20 cents. If I had pictures in the listing, I would click list item, and then this item there might be one other screen. You have to click through the next screen. this item will go live. However, there's something wrong with this listing. There's no photos. So you've got to have photos to list the item. You have to have every piece of information that is marked with a red asterisk, or you cannot list your item. So what we're going to do is we're going to go down here, and let's look at this listing. Here it is without the photos. This is what it will look like to a buyer. There's our item specifics. Here is our shipping information, return policy, how they can pay for it, letting them know that immediate payment is required. There you go. What I'm going to do is save and continue later, and then I will go in with my phone and add the pictures. All right, I know that took a long time to go through, but I hope that that helps with how to start a listing. I'm going to show you a different way, just briefly how to get there, and the steps are the same. So I'm in my draft listings, my eBay area. Go to create listing and click on single listing. And basically it will bring you to almost just a blank page. And you would put in Black & Decker can opener EC75. And it's going to and you would need to put in those other keywords that were in that prior listing, or that you wanted to include, like under cabinet, white, vintage, etc., etc. And then here it will find the category for you, and you just go about listing it the same way. These will not be filled out. That's another reason I like to sell similar or sell an item like this, is because if they've got their item specifics filled out, you will get the item specifics pre-populated, but the rest of this will look exactly the same. One thing I didn't remind you to do in that last bit was do the mobile friendly checker, and it will tell you, hey, this is not mobile friendly. Click the fix it for me button and click save, and now it is mobile friendly. But that's just another way to do it. All right, so that's it for me today. Thank you, kids, for playing along, and I hope to see you tomorrow.